Ladies and gentlemen, ASEAN is like a man who never grows up. I make no apologies for my choice of gender. In my experience, men usually have a bigger problem with growing up than women. ASEAN at 40 launches the ASEAN Charter. What is the ASEAN Charter? The ASEAN Charter is a blueprint. It is a blueprint for the economic integration of the region. It calls for a common market. It calls for a common production base. It calls for equitable distribution within the region. It calls for a competitive region that is integrated with the global economy. Is this a sign of middle-age purpose, or is this a sign of midlife crisis? We can argue endlessly about which is which. But contrast the blueprint with the reality on the ground. Consider how disparate, disconnected, disintegrated ASEAN really is. Consider the fact that the richest country in ASEAN is 163 times wealthier than the poorest country in ASEAN, compared to 7 times for the European community. Consider the fact that the richest country in ASEAN is 17 times the ASEAN average, compared to 2 times in the European community. Consider the fact that ASEAN currently trades a lot more with non-ASEAN partners than they do with ASEAN members themselves. Consider the fact that most foreign direct investment in ASEAN comes from outside of ASEAN than from within ASEAN. Consider the results of a survey done by the Heritage Foundation on how free the ASEAN economies are. Consider the fact that 1 ASEAN economy is considered free, 2 are considered mostly free, 3 are considered mostly unfree, and 3 are considered mostly repressed. Now that totals 9, and there are 10 ASEAN countries. 1 country was not in the survey, and that country is the country I come from, Brunei Darussalam. No doubt we will feature in the next survey, and I hope we do well. Consider the World Bank's recent survey on ease of doing business around the world. They surveyed 178 countries. Consider the fact that it takes 5 days to start a business in Singapore and 105 days to start a business in ASEAN's largest economy. Consider the fact that it takes 6 months to get building licenses in Vietnam and 2 years to get building licenses in Cambodia. Consider the fact that it takes 2 days to register property in Thailand and 4.5 months to register property in Laos and almost 2 years to register property in Brunei Darussalam. Consider the fact that it takes 5 days to go through export procedures and documentation in Singapore to export, 17 days in Thailand, and 37 days in Cambodia. Are these the signs of a region that is serious about integration? Within this context, does ASEAN need a blueprint? I agree with Dr. Tamsak. We need to band together. That is the reason behind the vision. I agree with Dr. Tamsak that in the face of the rise of China and India, ASEAN has no hope of competing, except if it takes economic integration seriously. But within this context, do we need a blueprint? Do we need more declarations by leaders and ministers that we need to band together? Is it not already obvious that this is the fact? Have we forgotten that we declared as our vision ASEAN 2020 10 years ago? Have we forgotten the fact that 20 years ago, foreign direct investment into ASEAN was twice that of China? And today, foreign investment, direct investment into China is more than that of the whole of ASEAN combined. And if you take Singapore out of ASEAN, more than twice that of the whole of ASEAN minus Singapore. Ladies and gentlemen, I would put to you that at this time, if we are to be truthful in our commitments to the ASEAN vision, what we need is not a blueprint. What we need is a program of action. I would therefore put to you that the ASEAN Charter is too little and too late in a rapidly changing world. Thank you.